Another day has been and gone at the US Open, but some things stay the same, and that is Jannik Sinner dominating on a hard court yet again. And we've seen a massive shot on the women's with Iga losing to Anisimova.
That's right, JG. Jannik Sinner doing it again, absolutely demolishing Lorenzo Musetti in the quarterfinals. It wasn't even close. I know I threw out a bit of hope just to go against you with a 1-set for Musetti prediction, but in my heart of hearts, I knew deep down it was going to be straight sets Jannik Sinner. That one was convincing. And on the other side, like you say, Amanda Anisimova, she overcomes the demons of Wimbledon after the double bagel in the final, and she gets her revenge on Iga. And we also had Naomi Osaka going through into the semifinals again. And this is, well, another big story. There's obviously Felix as well going through. We'll touch on all of these, but we are going to start with Amanda. You have to, don't you?
Yeah, it's a crazy story because I didn't give her any chance at all. Less than 2 months ago, she got double bageled in a Wimbledon final to Iga, and now she's on Ash, beating her only, a few months afterwards, which is insane, really. I didn't give her a chance in hell, not because I don't think she's a good player, because I do think she's fantastically good, and she's playing really well this year. To get to that Wimbledon final, she put a good bit of tennis behind her to get to that point. But I just didn't expect it. I didn't think she could take a set, let alone win the match. I think Iga made far too many mistakes. But just hats off and credit to Amanda Anisimova. This is one of the big shocks for me of not just this tournament, but the whole year.
Well, for me, I don't even know if it was in Iga's control, this. I think the blueprint for defeating Iga Swiatek, it is simple, but it's very difficult at the same time. You have to keep the ball deep, and that's what Anisimova did. Her ground shots were hitting the baseline on nearly every single shot, and Iga doesn't play well from the back of the court. She didn't let her inside the court at all, and that is how you defeat Iga Swiatek. And Anisimova just was brilliant. 23 winners, only 12 unforced errors, and Iga 13 winners, 15 unforced errors. Not too bad, but Anisimova, she has she's got rid of the demons now. I just think that this performance from her, it just gives everybody else hope. That's what she said in her post-match presser. She did this not just for her, but hopefully other people can now look at that performance after where she was. And one of the people in the press conference, I don't know who asked the question, they worded it in a weird way. They said, "Oh, just a month ago, you were sobbing on the court, and now you're all smiles. How does it feel to be in that sort of transition of your career now?" And she was just laughing, just saying, "Well, that was only on the court. It wasn't actually after the match. I actually found the funny side of it afterwards, luckily." But yeah, she said being able to now beat her in this fashion, it's like a full circle moment and like a mental recovery. And it just goes to show that she's right up there still at the top of the women's sport and done something that not many other US players can do, which is get into the Grand Slam semifinals on 3 different surfaces, which is pretty impressive.
Yep, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, 2002, and now you got Amanda Anisimova doing it in 2025. It's a ridiculous stat and just shows how impressive of a player Amanda Anisimova is. I know I joked with you not too long ago because I think you had her winning the Slam, or was it world number 1 or something ridiculous?
No, Slam, Australian Open it was. I had a
But you definitely picked that one too soon. But you did it for a good reason. There's a serious tennis player in there, someone who can reach the top of the game. My doubts has been with her against them very best players like your Igas and Sabalenka's, or even Rybakina. I feel like sometimes she's fallen a little bit short in that matchup. But to do what she did at this stage of a Grand Slam against Iga, who was the favourite for the tournament, she was in good form coming into this event. We both picked her to win it. Is credit to her. Can she now go on and win this whole thing? Why not? I feel if you beat Iga in any tournament, then you've got to feel confident about your level and the performance you're producing. to know that you can go on and win this tournament. The thing against her is the fact that within this women's draw now, there's a few extremely dangerous players, and I'm not talking about Sabalenka.
Yes, exactly right. Obviously, with this segues nicely onto who she's going to be playing in the semi-finals, and it is Naomi Osaka, another player in this tournament who's really finding their form. And she did it. It was a very tough match against Mukova, tougher than I thought it was going to be, to be honest. But she got through in straight sets, which is impressive. And yeah, she's now continues that run, undefeated in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. Can she go one step further again and defeat Anisimova in the semi-finals? That's an even bigger ask. But the way she's playing at the moment, she looks so free on the court. She looks, I know you were saying it before, she just looks faster around the court right now. And that movement is just one of the keys to why she's playing so well.
She looks fit, she looks healthy, athletic, hungry. Tennis ability, never can question. We know her ground strokes are some of the best on the women's game, and they have been for the last 5-6 years. But when physically she's at her best, I think mentally she's in a good spot too. Then of course she can win all of the Grand Slams, no doubt about it. And at the business end, there's not really any player better than her. It's a 5th Grand Slam singles semi-final, and she's won the tournament the previous 4 times. So it just goes to show when Osaka is to go deep, she usually wins the event.
Yeah, exactly. 13-0 in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. She is a big match player. That was one of the reasons, though. I know that you were saying, obviously, Anisimova's level was against certain players. That was one of the reasons that I actually picked her to win a slam. And the person that she beaten previously was Osaka, and that was the main reason that I thought, oh, if she can beat Osaka on a hard court, you're definitely right up there with the best players on hard courts, because it's nearly impossible. Do you see how good she is? And it must have been a round 3 defeat, because we saw that stat before, and I'm guessing that's probably where she lost to Anisimova before in the slam. But this matchup, it is hard to pick.
Yeah, and let's not take anything away from Mukova. Mukova played her part. It was a really high-level match between 2 good players. Mukova, of course, beat Osaka this time last year at the US Open. So Osaka's been able to dust herself off, come back the year later, and improve drastically. I know last year I had Osaka getting inside my top 10. That's just been a little bit premature, because I believe the way she's playing at the moment, she's a banker to be in the top 10. Because she's certainly good enough. I mean, I think she should be a top 5 player potentially next year. And you'll see with my rankings where I'm going to put her next year could be a big shock. But let's just take it all slow, because we don't know, of course, how long this is going to last. Is it just this tournament? Are we going to go back to the old Osaka in the months to come? Well, only time would tell. But right now, she's not just a contender. I think probably the favorite to win the US Open.
Wow. Big things ahead for her. And obviously, on the other side of the draw, we do have Sabalenka there. She's going to be playing Pegula in the other semi-final. It's really tough to pick between all of them. I'd have to say Pegula is probably the one I'd look at and say she is probably 4th on the list, I think, for probably most people. Obviously, she made the final last year, but still, you look at how hard-hitting the other 3 are, and that is the differential, really. Osaka and Anisimova, tough one to pick. Osaka in this form, very difficult to beat. But that performance from Anisimova that we've just seen, that could be up there with some of the best she's played recently. And to get that mental victory over Iga, she's going to be brimming with confidence. She's going to have the crowd on her side. Obviously, Osaka's going to have some crowd, but Anisimova right now, she has them in the palm of her hand, really. They love her in America, and they want her, and they're willing her after that double bagel defeat at Wimbledon to just, if she could go on and now win the US Open, that is a full circle fairy tale. Like, humbled and embarrassed to then top of the world within a space of like a month. That would be amazing.
It's not going to be easy against Osaka. I'm just looking at the
No.
bookmakers now. They have it pretty even. Osaka 1.8 versus Anisimova evens. Of course, Anisimova is already inside the top 10 as we're talking and had a really good year. But I
Oh,
think Osaka, it's hard to say because Anisimova was just beating Iga,
yeah.
which gives her so much credit. I just feel that for me, Osaka is the one to beat. Despite what we've seen, I think I would still be saying that if Iga was to be playing Osaka right now, my money would have been on Osaka, and she wouldn't have been, of course, the bookies' favourites with that one.
Yeah, the live rankings as they stand. Naomi Osaka will return to the top 15, which is amazing. She'll be number 14 if she loses in the semi-final, number 12 if she loses in the final, number 11 if she wins the US Open. And Amanda Anisimova at the moment is now up to currently number 5 in the world, I believe. So that can only increase, I'm sure. Mila Andreeva's above her. I don't think she could go any higher than 4, but if she was to get number 4 in the world, that's just credit to her. She's performing at the big tournaments, and that's what gets you up. And that's why I think Osaka, like you said, she probably will get to the top of the sport again because she's so good at the hard court slams.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the head-to-head anyway. Amanda leads the head-to-head 2-0, which includes hard court win on hard courts in 2022, which is pretty significant. Surely, when you're two big hitters, it's tough to go up against Osaka. But if you've got a leading head-to-head, you've never lost to her. Surely that gives her confidence too.
Definitely, but I think this is a level match in which I would be more on the side of Osaka winning. But let us know in the comments section which way you see it going. One thing I think we can all agree on is that it will be a high quality affair between two really good informed hard court players.
Yeah,
And names we've not necessarily been speaking about much over the past 2 years. Of course, Anisimova's had a better season this year than Osaka, but we're not at the end of the year. And if Osaka can get and triumph here at the US Open, which she's very close to doing, then you can't argue that she's had an amazing year.
exactly. And I think, like she said here after the match, she said, I've discovered that I love tennis much more than I thought. It's like a video game. You start, and even if you lose a level, you just reset and keep going until you finally win. Sometimes it's a bit tough, but I wouldn't want to trade this for anything. And something else you probably wouldn't want to trade for anything is a Labubu. I thought I'd bring it up for you again. It's the 5th one of the US Open.
I can see this one.
Andre Swagacy. That is right, JG. There is Labubu number 5. Is she going to get a contract with Labubu? I've seen the Tennis Centaurs put out a tweet saying that she's got a deal already, but I don't believe anything they say. So we'll wait and see.
Who do you reckon the next tennis player will be? I reckon we'll get a Rafael Nadal one.
Ooh. Yeah. Do they have to be retired players? Maybe a Bjorn Borg or something like that. I don't know. They have to always have like a cool name. So maybe she just is thinking one up for the next one. But maybe we'll only see it if she wins. That's it. So if she keeps winning, new Labubu. Anyway, enough Labubus. And let's move on to a guy who had a bit of a boo-boo. Lorenzo Musetti. He was probably bawling when he went back to the dressing room after becoming another part of the club. Would you say that? He's been Yannick Sinnered as well.
Yeah, he got Sinnered.
It was a 2-hour match, this one, so did better than Bublik.
He did well. Played well, Musetti.
Yeah.
Don't think he put a foot wrong. Probably produced the highest level he can possibly do. And that is a loss in 2 hours, straight sets. It's not fair. Yannick Sinner is not fair. He's a cheat code in tennis. There's nobody really who can compete apart from Alcaraz. And I mean, if Djokovic is to beat Alcaraz, then I pray for you and all the Djokovic fans because I think it will be a similar scoreline in the final.
What do you make of his new serve? I mean, it's unstoppable.
I think that's the least of your worries. I think when you're in the point, if you allow him if you allow him to step into the court, even running backwards or behind the baseline, he's just so dangerous, especially on the run. I think there's nobody as good as him on the run. I mean, Alcaraz isn't far off, but if Musetti, there was a few times he pulled him out wide, and all Yannick Sinner just slaps the ball down the line, forehand, backhand. It's effortless, and the power he possesses is frightening because it looks like the ball, he can put it centimeters wherever he wants it on the court with so much power that it's unplayable. And it is a cheat code watching Yannick Sinner right now. It's difficult for me to see anyone stopping him.
Yeah, he sort of hits winners from just any place on the court as well. You think that he's out wide and you can't hit a ball hard enough to get it into a little gap, and he does. And this is what, like Musetti said after the match. He said, "I've never played anyone who rushes you in a rally like Yannick Sinner." He said, "Of course, he's better than me," and he showed. But I'm happy I played against him to understand the things I have to improve. Which I think after that match,
Yeah.
you assess that's the top of the game right now. How do I get close to that? There's a lot of analysis required, I think, after one of those
I
performances.
think it's tough to do that though, because you could really get yourself in a bit of a hole and feel down about yourself when you play against Yannick Sinner, because I'm sure there's so many things he feels he needs to improve now, which really, if he played like he did against Sinner, he beats 90% of the tour, 95%.
Yeah, it's crazy, and in dominant scorelines as well. And Jose Morgado pointing out here, since facing a break point to go down a double break against Shapovalov in the third set, Yannick Sinner has won 36 out of 43 games. Thanks,
I see it
Shapo.
continuing as well. I mean, the sad thing for Felix is I saw someone tweet, I think it was Vance, is
I've
all
got
he's done now is secure himself VIP seats to another beatdown because poor Felix is into a semi-final of a Grand Slam again. It's taking him some time. Surely he's going to be feeling amazing, knowing that he's back at the very top playing some of his best tennis. But the reward he's got is a Yannick Sinner. And I'm sorry, this is going to be worse than the Musetti one. I just feel he's going to get completely obliterated. We got to watch a bit of Felix and de Minaur together in the pub yesterday.
Yep.
And Felix, I didn't think played amazing, but he had a bit more power than de Minaur. But there's a lot of errors in his game. He often goes long or makes mistakes. They're going to be completely exploited from Yannick Sinner, and he won't have any chance to breathe. And I don't want to discredit de Minaur because I think he is a fantastic player, one of the most consistent, and it was a good match in spells at high level. You're not going to be able to do what you did against de Minaur and get away with it.
That's the problem, isn't it? I thought Felix, I did pick him to win that quarter final. I think I said in 4 as well, so I think it was quite a good call. I thought the power would be too much for de Minaur. That's the thing he always struggles with. Fair play to Felix. I think he's done well to get this far. That's a really... I know we're sort of talking like he's already lost the semi-final already, which is very disrespectful. But there's just something at the moment which is just... He's just on another level. They played recently, I think, Felix and Sinner as well. And I think it was just a dominant straight sets win from Yannick Sinner. And there's an equation I was thinking in my head. And I know that we both work sort of with accounts or with maths. I know you're a bit of a mathematician. And I was trying to think up an equation that sums up playing Yannick Sinner. And this was the one I came up with, which was... all players seem to have, I'd say other than Alcaraz at the moment, 0 chance. So it doesn't matter what your number is. Like, let's say that you're 1 out of 100, 10 out of 100, 50 out of 100 is your level. If you times it by 0, you end up with 0. So that's everything times by 0 is 0. So that is 0
What about
chance.
Alcaraz? He's 99.
He is the only exception, I think, on the tour. So he doesn't fit into that equation. Alcaraz has his own little one because he's able to actually beat Yannick Sinner. Everybody else right now does fit into it. That includes Djokovic at the moment, unfortunately, unless some sort of miracle happens from up above, which would be...
I'd have to agree with you, Ben. It doesn't feel like there's much chance.
This person, Raz, says, summed it up, says, Felix Auger-Aliassime is playing the best tennis of his life. Yannick Sinner will annihilate him in the semis. This is the general consensus.
Vance
And
summed it up. You've got VIP seats to your beatdown.
literally, and the bookmakers feel the exact same way. Do you know what odds he is?
I reckon 13.
17.
Bloody hell. Gosh.
17.
I thought I was exaggerating with 13, but no.
So they're pretty much saying 1.03 for Sinner to win. You don't get anything back really if you bet on Yannick Sinner. It's crazy. But I think is he taking the piss a little bit, Yannick Sinner, as well? Because before his quarterfinals, most players are in the locker room. They're like, I'm just geeing myself up. I just really need to just get in the zone. What's Yannick Sinner up to in the locker room? Goofing around. So of course he is. It's stealing one of his trainer's trainer. Yeah, and throwing up there on the roof. And then they're all having a laugh in the changing room. It's all great. It almost reminds me of the UFC. Ilia Topuria went out and celebrated the night before he fought Charles Oliveira for the title, just to celebrate winning the title. Then went into the fight and went, boom, round one knockout. See ya. And then went off and celebrated again the next night. It's crazy, this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit arrogant and cocky. I don't feel like it's coming from that place with Yannick Sinner. I just think he's confident in his ability. I would say this is more on the side of confidence rather than arrogance. He's not doing it in front of cameras. He's not making it public. But I do understand what you mean. And now Yannick Sinner scored 20 sets of 6-love or 6-1 at Grand Slams in 2025. And you'll be surprised to know that the US Open, he's achieved 6, which is the highest. Wimbledon, he got 6. Roland Garros, 5. Australian Open, only 3 breadsticks or bagels. But to achieve 6 breadsticks or bagels at just the US Open, 20 already in 2025, I don't think many people will ever beat that. Like, ever.
It's such a high level. He's so above and
Dominant.
beyond. Yeah, I mean, the fact he dropped a set to Chapo was, I'm still a bit shocked about that. Almost 2, yeah. But that seems like a thing of the past now, that Chapo match. That it's like
I think it helped him though. It did, like, it helped lift his level. I did say that after the match.
Yep. I think that you are definitely right. And everybody else has Chapo to blame now. Yeah, do you want to get onto some predictions for semi-finals?
Yep, let's do the predictions. I don't think we've even prepared the Excel, have we, for the quarterfinal predictions? I know you did very well with your Djokovic Fritz one, but I think I did well on the other ones. But we'll have that ready for the next episode tomorrow. But for now, let's give some semi-final predictions. Where do you want to start?
I was going to say, I'm just trying to find a graphic. Here we go. I've got a graphic. We'll start with the women's because they will be the ones on first. In the UK, it seems like there's no matches on today, but they all start. The first ones start at midnight, so that's probably why it looks a little bit strange. Sabalenka versus Pegula is the first one kicking off the day. Take it away, JG.
They played in March, right, in America. Let me just confirm that because that's off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure they played and Sabalenka won in straight sets, if my memory serves me well.
She's won the last 3 in straight sets. But yeah, they did play in March.
Yeah, I think based off that and based off Pegula maybe not having to be tested so much, I do think Sabalenka will beat her, but I think it could be 3 sets.
Interesting. Well, yeah, this is last year's final, essentially, of the US Open in the semi-final this time. I think it's going to be the same score as last year. I'm going Sabalenka in straights.
Okay, so we've got a slight difference there. With regards to the other match, it is tougher. It is tough because it could be, you can make a case for either player, but I've already said and laid out my mark on who I think is going to win. I'm going Naomi Osaka to win the match. It could be 3, but I'm going to stick with 2 for Naomi Osaka in 2 sets.
Yeah, the interesting thing about these semi-finals is we could have an all-American final, but we could have no Americans in the final as well.
I'm going against that. I'm going for the Sabalenka Osaka final.
Well, I'm going to go with, I think Anisimova continues her good run. I think it will be 3 sets, and I think that all records are there to be broken. And unfortunately, despite Naomi Osaka coming back to this form, I think that this record will, I think it will disappear now, and it will be a 3 sets win, not straight sets though, because I think that Osaka's definitely good for a set, but Anisimova will dig in, and we'll see some real fighting spirit, and I think the crowd will definitely play a factor in this match.
One thing though, Osaka is she's good under pressure in these big moments in Grand Slams.
Yeah,
Grand Slam champion, multiple. She knows what she's doing at this time of the year.
Good point.
Whereas Anisimova, she gets to the final and she could not handle it at all. So I'm very confident in Osaka that she can get the job done, despite it being very close. And it should be close in the odds because they're both not too far away from each other level-wise right now.
Hard to call. Like, it's really, really difficult. Let us know in the comment section who you picked for the women's semi-final. And now on to the men's. Obviously, if you haven't checked out our Djokovic versus Alcaraz preview, we did a separate video for that. I'll pop a little card up and pop a link in the comments and description as well. So I think we should just remind, do we need to remind everybody what we predicted, or just go watch that one? What should we do? Do Sinner and Felix then. I want to know. Are you giving Felix a set?
And that's the question. Can he take a set? It's not whether he can win this match, because I feel like it's completely out of reach. And I don't think he can even take a set. We've spoken about it already. There's no surprise here. We're probably going to have the same result and outcome, and that's going to be a Jannik Sinner straight set. I don't think you even get good value in odds for that happening. And this is not to be dismissive of Felix, because I feel like if it was Alex de Minaur, I'd be feeling exactly the same. But for some reason, I feel even more strong about Felix just not being able to deal with this.
Yeah, I know that I entertained it in the last round with Musetti, but people should know I did put a bet on. I bet on Jannik Sinner in straight sets, and it did actually. It was 1.57, and I just thought it's probably going to happen. And I would say I would go with the exact same thing here. I think if it was de Minaur, it would be the same as well. I don't think any of those players are as much of a challenge. I think Felix is probably the most of a challenge because he can strike through the ball a bit better than the other two and get some cheap points. But it's about winning a set. I don't think any of them have that in them against him right now. So I'm going Sinner in 3.
Yeah, there we go. You've heard our predictions. If you want to see our extensive video on Djokovic Alcaraz, go check it out. We did it yesterday, giving all of our thoughts and predictions. Soon to be final time. We'll give, of course, our thoughts after the semi-finals and then do final previews. I'm expecting the Sinner Alcaraz final, but let's see if Djokovic can do something about that. Do you still feel like Djokovic can or not?
Djokovic, if he's in the tournament, he still has a chance. So I'm here with all of the other Djokovic fans around the world. I'm praying for just the top level. Just find something within and just dig deep and hope it's enough to get past the beast that is Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, of course, it's important to note the US Open did put it in the day session when it's going to be hot to try and screw Djokovic over a little bit. They really want that Sinner Alcaraz, the Sinner Alcaraz final. Yeah, let's wait and see if we get it. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for more US Open action.